The maniacs have officially taken over the once great state of Maine, and they are being led by this maniac, who is pleasantly smiling as her hair is blowing in the winds of the boodle breeze. This lovely lady, her name is Janet Mills. Janet prefers she/her pronouns, and she also identifies as the HBIC of the Democratic Republic of Maine. Believe it or not, Janet has something in common with Uncle KC. Neither one of us like to follow the rules. I hate rules. I don't like traffic rules, even though I understand their reasoning, their purpose. I don't like stop signs in neighborhoods. I damn sure don't like those ridiculous speed bumps. I don't like red lights that are designed to prohibit you from making a left-hand turn, even though no one is coming from the opposite direction. Those lights should be yellow. They should never be red unless the main light is red. I don't like speed limits on highways and interstates. I understand limiting speed in neighborhoods, but the interstate is designed for speed. When I was working a real job, I didn't like my boss telling me that I had to be at work by 7:30 in the morning and I couldn't leave work until 5 in the afternoon. What if I didn't feel like coming in until 8? What if I wanted to come in early and leave early? What if I didn't feel like starting work until 10? Better yet, what if I didn't feel like working that day at all and wanted to take the day off? Ever since I was a child, I have hated the idea of someone else telling me what to do. I've hated the idea of someone else establishing the structure in my life. That's why YouTube is perfect for me. I wake up when I want, I work when I want, set my own schedule. If I want to leave the studio at noon to go play golf, I just leave. I don't tell anyone I'm leaving, I just leave. At the same time, I am very, very regimented with my schedule. I like my own structure, I like my own rules. I've just never liked other people's rules. Which is something that me and the Prime Minister of the Democratic Republic of Maine have in common. It is abundantly clear at this point that Janet Mills does not like following the rules. She doesn't like obeying the law. Normal people would describe Janice as a criminal. The identifiers in Maine, they refer to her as the governor. Throughout his first 4 months in office, the Trumper has made one thing perfectly clear. Men are not allowed in women's sports. They are not allowed to compete against women, and they're damn sure not allowed in the women's locker room. And just to clear up potential confusion, this rule also applies to prepubescent boys who grow up aspiring to be women. Your feminine aspirations, they're not against the law. You are more than welcome to put on a tutu and be a headliner at Club Shay Shay when you grow up. But you're not allowed to put on a jersey to become the tallest center on the women's basketball team. Even though I don't like most rules, this is one of the few rules I agree with and will gladly follow. No men in women's sports. It's that simple. But for some reason, Janet Mills just can't seem to grasp this simple rule. For some reason, the most powerful government official in the state of Maine refuses to follow and enforce the law. Over the weekend, the state of Maine continued to openly defy the Trumper as another young man identifying as a young woman stole another first-place finish from an actual woman who deserved it. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. So go ahead and get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends at Sugar Mountain Trading. Are you struggling with back problems? Do you deal with minor aches, minor pains throughout your day, and you don't want to go to the doctor because all the doctor's going to do is find something else wrong with you, or even worse, prescribe addictive medication that you just don't want to take? Me personally, I hate going to the doctor. So does my wife, who actually deals with back pain, which is why she started using CBD lotions and oils from Sugar Mountain Trading. Now, this is not THC. This is not going to make you fail a drug test. These CBD lotions and oils, they are designed for rapid pain relief. Like I said, my wife deals with nagging back pain from time to time. We have tried over-the-counter stuff. We have tried the chiropractor. None of it ever seemed to work. Within 5 minutes of me applying CBD lotion from Sugar Mountain Trading, her pain was gone. I'm telling you, it's damn near magical. My wife, she keeps a bottle in her purse at all times. Sugar Mountain Trading also offers CBD bar soap that will keep you pain-free and smelling fresh at the same time. Bar soap comes in a variety of scents ranging from lavender all the way to cherry almond. All CBD products offered by Sugar Mountain Trading, 100% natural, 100% free of THC. So click the link in the description below. Use my promo code BTL20, BTL20. Save 20% off your first purchase with Sugar Mountain Trading. Soren Stark-Chessa is a junior at North Yarmouth Academy in Maine. During freshman year, Stark competed on the boys track and field team. Fast forward 2 years later, Stark is now competing on the girls team. According to the state of Maine, Stark is competing on the women's team because Stark chooses to identify as female. We don't believe in that pesky science in the state of Maine, unless, of course, we are forcing our subjects to wear masks. Here in Maine, we believe that our children should be able to compete with the gender they choose to identify with. I guess if kids in Maine choose to identify as a dandelion, they're allowed to compete with the florist. Maybe one of the kids in Maine will identify as governor. I wonder if Janet Mills would give up her position because a child chose to identify as the governor. According to the state of Maine, Soren Stark-Chessa is allowed to compete against girls because that's the gender that they have chosen. More than likely, Stark is competing against girls because the competition is too tough and too toxically masculine on the boys' side. Over the weekend, Stark was allowed to compete in 2 events against the ladies. One race was 800 meters. The second race was 1600 meters. Video footage was released of the shorter race where Stark was able to dominate opponents by finishing almost 2 seconds before the real first place finisher. Watch for yourself.
Let's go, Riley! Let's go, Riley! I was so happy. This is my best
Now, that was the close race. That was the real nail-biter. During the 1600-meter race, Soren Stark-Chessa finished almost 20 seconds ahead of the real first-place finisher. 20 seconds! Now, once the race was finished for Stark, Stark had time to run to the bathroom. The girls' bathroom, of course. And by the time Stark returned to the track, the second-place finisher still hadn't finished the damn race. It was a triumphant weekend for Soren Stark-Chessa. I'm sure the parents were very proud. My daughter, who used to be a boy, is a state champion in girls track and field. As a father, I could not be more proud. I can't wait to have grandchildren. Woo! Yes, yes, yes. It was a triumphant weekend for Stark, sweeping the 2 events in track and field, girls track and field. But if you took both winning times and you put those times in the boys category where Stark belonged, then Stark would have finished in 12th place. Competing against females, Stark is a 2-time state champion. Competing against dudes, Stark is near last place. I don't blame Soren Stark-Chessa for this. Soren Stark-Chessa is a child, a teenager. You know what teenagers do? Teenagers will do whatever you allow them to get away with. We have always had a rule in our house. But Casey, I thought you didn't like rules. I like my rules, I just don't like your rules. Anyway, we've always had a rule for our daughter in our house. No social media. No Facebook, no Twitter, no Instagram, no social media, period. Think about teenagers and rules. If you don't remind them of the rules every so often, they think you forgot about them. I know this because that's how I was. That's how I thought as a teenager. Long story short, something happened and we found out that she was using social media. It was surprising because she's just like her mother. They're both the opposite of me. They both love rules and they both love to follow rules. She's a great kid. Great kid. We have never had to give her a curfew because we never had to. She doesn't stay out late. She always comes home at a decent hour. So when we found out she was using social media, it was a surprise because she never breaks the rules. But this one particular time she did, and we took her phone away for 2 or 3 months. You know what we haven't had a problem with since? Social media. The point is, teenagers are going to do what they're allowed to get away with. I don't blame Soren Stark-Chessa for dominating girls' sports in Maine. I blame the parents. I blame the school system. And I damn sure blame the governor. Take away the issue for a moment. Forget about transgender involvement in sports for just a second. Just think about the message that the governor is sending to the kids. We don't have to obey the law if we don't agree with it. If the governor of your state is not willing to follow the law, why should anyone else? If we don't have to follow laws that we don't like or don't agree with, then what's the point of having them? The federal government has ruled the state of Maine is in violation of Title IX. They have allowed men to compete in women's sports, which is against federal law. Whether the governor of Maine agrees with that decision or not does not matter. The law is the law. But I guess Janet Mills thinks that the law doesn't apply to her state. A law that protects over 99% of young women. It is being defied so Janet Mills can fight for the rights of less than 1%, which is ironic when you think about it. For decades, Democrats have whined and complained about the 1%, and now they're the ones defending the 1%. Give me your thoughts on this. Soren Stark-Chessa dominates girls track and field in Maine. Situation in Maine is a mess right now. It is a flaming ass fire. Lawsuits, Title IX violations. Should it be up to individual states to determine whether men should be allowed to compete in women's sports? I mean, we do allow individual states to decide on abortion laws, so should individual states be allowed to decide on this issue, or should it remain a federal issue? You tell me. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.